Hey guys, Janet says we're ready to go. So here I am with Heidi again.
Hi, I hope you're not tired of me.
She's part of CNG Consultants. Tell us a little bit about that company.
Okay, so I'm the co-owner and founder of CNG Consulting. We are an expat one-stop shop where we help expats get settled here in the Philippines, from immigration, business registration, your driver's license, and basically anything that involves expats and the government. And sometimes we also help people with, finding a place to stay here in the Philippines, getting insurance, finding a lawyer, finding an accountant. So everything, not under the sun, but everything where we can help you with in terms of living here in the Philippines and just, having a safe space and, someone who knows how to get around here.
So I noticed that you're close with your clients. They sort of become part of the family. Tell me about your background. What brought you into helping foreigners get a visa? Some of your education background. And where were you born? What's your hometown?
I was actually born in the middle of nowhere. No, I was actually born in Cebu, but I grew up in the middle of nowhere in a town called Talibon, which is a town north of Bohol. So it's a very small town. I went to elementary and high school there. And how my first encounters with expats is actually because of my parents. So when I was young, we used to own a bar in Talibon, and there's actually a small expat community in Talibon. So I remember the first time I ever talked to a foreigner was when I did a survey with foreigners, like, are you an immigrant here, or are you just here as a tourist? And basically all my life I've been dealing with it. So one point, my mom has this really close German expat who one day just told me, Heidi, you're a very smart girl. For your age, you're very mature. I hope when you become a professional, you're going to help expats, because it's so hard to get around here. And looking back at it now, it kind of just made sense. I just realized it this year, actually, like, oh my God, that guy who told me about this helping expats is actually what I'm doing now. So it kind of like stemmed from there and manifested to what I'm actually doing now, which is helping expats. So it started when I actually helped him because he was having properties in the Philippines which he wasn't taking care of, and I told him, like, if you don't take care of this, the government might take this away from you. So you need to be paying taxes, you need to have this in a corporation, which I'm still managing some of his affairs here in the Philippines.
Now, did you end up going to university?
I did, yeah.
Where'd you attend university?
I went to the University of San Carlos, where I graduated with a degree in political science, major in law and policy studies. I then went to law school in the University of San Carlos, University of San Jose Recoletos, which I'm still trying to finish. I'm on my last year. I also have a certification from the American Institute of Certifications, ACI, or American Certification Institute, where I have a certification as an HR manager and as an HR professional. I also have a realtor license from the Professional Regulation Commission in the Philippines as a real estate salesperson. So a lot of things going on there.
A lot of things going on. You're very, very well educated. You're very well spoken.
Thank you.
Has your English always been this strong?
Yeah, because I grew up watching a lot of American cartoons.
American cartoons?
American
Tom
cartoons.
and Jerry? Which one?
Tom and Jerry, everything Cartoon Network, Dexter's Lab, so a lot of that, and I think I just picked up on the accent. So my niece is actually the same. She speaks as well as I do, and then my siblings kind of have like a thick Filipino accent, and surprisingly I have some people say it's an American accent, I don't know.
I was surprised to hear you've never been to the U.S.
I've never been to the U.S. I've lived in the Philippines most of my life.
What foreign countries have you visited?
A lot, actually. I've traveled most of Europe. I have a sister that lives in Norway, so sometimes I visit her. I've been to Germany, Belgium, Amsterdam. This was actually an all-expense-paid trip because I had to go to a meeting with my business partner there, which allowed me to explore. The first time I went there was also because of my sister. which are because of the opportunities that I've been getting. Because I'm the type of person who will actually see an opportunity and then think of ways where I can learn from it and grow from it. I've also been around Southeast Asia. I've been to Bali, I've been to Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and I'm still trying to go around and explore and see and get more exposure from basically the Western community. And I think that also helps me have the perspective of trying to help you more through the company that I have.
Janet and I are going to leave the country sometime next year, and it's Janet's first time out of the country.
Wow.
Since you've traveled to Bali and Thailand, everywhere, you've been around, where's the best place for me to take Janet for her first trip overseas? In Southeast Asia.
In Southeast Asia, I would say Bali. I went to Bali last October, and it was a very interesting place, and it won't shock you a lot because it's kind of like the Philippines, but the food, the culture, the things you will see there, it's so different. Like it will actually, I had a very eat, pray, love moment there, which I came back to Bali with a lot of, because I run a business and it's so stressful. And so when I went there, I felt really healed, because there's a lot of things to do, especially in Ubud, where you can do spiritual stuff regardless of the religion that you have. And then you can go to other places where you can explore. It's just such a beautiful place. And I think for Janet, since it's her first time, she won't be like culture shocked, because that's normally the thing that happens.
Oh, she's culture shocked.
She's already culture shocked?
Yeah, all the time.
Are you traumatized?
Even just coming to Cebu is a culture shock.
Oh,
it took
my
her a
God.
while to get used to it here.
Yeah, she's gonna love it. But either Bali or Hong Kong, if you want like the city style. I always go to places to check out the food. Hong Kong has like really
You're
good food.
You're a foodie, yeah.
I'm a foodie,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
But I need rice all the time.
You need rice.
Because I'm still Filipino.
It's great that you're Filipino. But what experience, since you're running a company that works with visas and expats, what experience did you have prior to opening the company or starting it?
I actually my first job was a research officer for an ISO consulting company, where I was a research officer that dealt with international standards. So from there, I actually had the experience of dealing with how to work a company and how to build a company. And then after a year, I moved and then worked for one of the top Japanese consulting companies in Japan, and then which they had a branch here in the Philippines, which I actually helped start. But you know how it is with wages here in the Philippines.
Wages are low.
Wages are low, and I actually helped pioneer that brand and help it like grow into something that it is now. And then by the time it was, their expectation with me was, you're gonna manage this branch. But then when it came to interview, they were like, oh, no one wants to evaluate you because they think you're too strong. You're like very aggressive. You're not aggressive in a bad way, but just I know how to get things done. And so one day I just walked out of the office because I felt like I didn't feel valued for the work that I was doing. And then I applied for a new job. I was supposed to be hired as an HR director for one of the top 5 companies here in the Philippines. But I was lucky that I have a really good business partner. He's German-Canadian. We're kind of like in the same phase of our lives where we want to grow and become like really good entrepreneurs. And he was like, if you manage to work for a pioneering company and grow that branch, you can definitely do it on your own. Like all my life, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I always thought I was going to be a lawyer, work in an office, and because that's the mindset that my dad gave me. And things just fell into place, and I feel like I made the best decision of my life.
So does this legal background help you with this visa process? It seems like there's so many documents, so many signatures needed. How does your background help you take someone through the visa process?
It's definitely helpful because my degree was basically law and policy studies, and then I had I've spent time going to law school, so it's a lot easier because a lot of expats sometimes have unique situations. So not every client we have is like, oh, I want this visa, and it's very straightforward. And so because I know how to read the law and analyze the law, it actually helps me solve their problems easier. And because we have lawyer partners, I already have like a certain solution. I just check it with them, and they're like, oh, this is actually the right track, so I can proceed forward. with how we deal with things. So that basically helps me a lot. And drafting the documents is like fairly easy to me, and I've been training my staff to do the same thing.
And you talk about your staff. How big is your staff here in Cebu City?
Right now, okay, so when I began, I actually did it myself.
One-stop shop with one girl?
One girl. My business partner is a foreigner, right? And he basically didn't know how to go about it. Since I have the experience with a Japanese company, I wanted to create manuals so that when I train someone, they already know what to do. So I would go to government offices, line up in heels, have all this like papers with me. One day I cried. I was like, I went to school. And by the way, I sent myself to law school. I didn't rely on my parents to do that. And then I was crying like, oh my God, I went to school and here I am lining for like 3 hours with nothing to do, but I have to wait until the queuing. So that experience actually helped me, understand what my staff are going through and relate to the struggles that they go to, that they experience. So right now we have, with the lawyer, we have about 5 in Cebu, which is actually better because when we started, it was just me. It's a growing company. Thanks to our YouTube affiliates, especially Mike, we've been growing very rapidly. I also have 3 in Manila. So that's a good thing about us. Even if we're a small company, I actually manage to have staff in Manila. So I go back and forth Cebu and Manila and manage those staff as well. So that's why we can, even if you're wherever you are in the Philippines, we can actually cater to you.
Now, in the future, the growth rate of your company, are you prepared for a large growth rate in the near future? Opening new offices, more staff?
Yes, we definitely are. So right now, but before the end of the year, we're trying to set up our operations to be lean. We've actually built a system where at some point, the goal really is for our clients to have a dashboard in our website where they can they don't have to call, they don't have to ask. They only just need to input their login details and they'll see, where is their visa process at. And then obviously I like to create a culture where our clients actually can talk to us, can talk to me, because most of my clients have a very personal relationship with, because I believe in building a community where you can trust each other, and so that they find it easy to come to us for help, and nothing is ever like too sensitive or too hard. And then that's what I always do. That's why our slogan is like, we get things done, because we actually go above and beyond for our clients. And in terms of the capacity that we have, we're actually at a point right now where we're hiring more staff, we're looking at offices, we're looking at expansion. So definitely the goal right now is we have a small office here, but it's not a receiving office. So next year we're going to have a receiving office where clients can just go in and they can be entertained by our staff. Next goal is to open an office in Manila and then Siargao, and then hopefully everywhere in the Philippines you'll be seeing us. It's a small company. It's so hard to have brand visibility because we're still building that up. But I think my team is very ambitious and are willing to do that and are willing to, yeah.
As you're growing, your individual clients, do you still feel that you're able to service each and every one of them the best possible way? Yes,
because we have a system where all of their details are there. We know when they're going to arrive. We know when their schedule is going to be, and it alerts all our staff. So really having and using technology in dealing with our staff is really helping us still be in schedule and still update our clients. And I have an amazing team that replies to the emails, that keeps us on the loop, and we always try to be as responsive as possible. We had a little bit of adjustment period when we started working with YouTubers because we weren't ready for the influx, but as we went through it, we really adapted to the change, and we're quick to build a system where we're going to be responsive, we're going to schedule you in the right way, and everything is tracked. Everything, all the communications, all the documents, it's in a space where my business partner is a tech guy, so there's very much concern about protecting the privacy of our clients as well.
Well, that's good. So your company is going to rely a little bit more on tech?
Yes.
The guy's going to have their own little dashboard. They can go and check their own progress. So whatever they're going through, the SRRV or 13A, but you're still very personable with your clients. You know most of them by name, don't you? I know most of them by name. I know all their situation. If they have a wife, I would probably know it. Sometimes I
I would go out with him. I actually met my best friend as a client. She was applying for an investor's visa. And then after she signed the contract, I just felt like, oh, this is a person that I can talk to. So we just clicked. One of my closest friends who's had a lot of our services I actually like treat him as like a father figure, and he guides me through like what I'm doing and in my business as well. Because I feel like when you talk to people, you get more perspective. You learn how to improve your business and serve them a lot more better. That's why I'm the type where if there's criticism, I will take that. I won't take offense on it. I will take that as an opportunity to improve.
Now, as there's so much competition in this market, what do you offer that you think stands out over your competition?
Well, definitely number one is the technology side, because it just helps things work seamlessly. But it's also going above and beyond for our clients. I can tell you one example where I had a client from Bohol where his visa was implemented, but they couldn't release his ACR card. He didn't inform us that he was leaving the country. I cannot leave the country without your ACRI card, and he was leaving on that day. So what I did was, I'm like, oh my God, I need to get his ACRI card for them. So personally, I went to immigration office. I was like, my client is leaving today. If he cannot get this ACR, he's going to be fired from his job, and this is not going to be good for him. So I talked to one of the heads of immigration, and they actually helped me get his ACRI card. Oh, he was in Manila, and I was in Cebu. So I booked a flight.
You got on a plane?
I got on a plane.
Really?
I got on a plane,
Wow.
yeah. This was last year. I got on a plane, and it was just cutting it too short, and the flight was delayed. I only had 10 minutes to get to him from Terminal 3 to his flight to Belgium. So, and me, I'm always wearing heels because I'm short. When I landed from the plane, I ran as fast as I could. And then just like 5 minutes for him to get his ACRI card, he made it to his flight.
So everything worked out?
Everything worked out. And he's just so happy recommending us. He doesn't even ask for anything. He's like, go with Heidi. She's never gonna leave you.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to be for our clients. And that's the mindset I'm also building in our company culture. I always tell my staff, you know, you may think that our company is just submitting papers, but if you think about it in the grander scheme of things, we are responsible for their status here in the Philippines. And that is a huge responsibility, because that is someone's life you're dealing with.
Yeah, they're sitting there worried about everything.
Yeah.
They're sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Is this done yet? Is it going to get done? You know, and I've had a couple of your clients contact me, and nothing but high praise. So that's why I've decided to, you know, make some videos with you and support your company. Is there anything you want to tell our audience about you personally? How, you know, how does a young Filipina, you know, the whole world thinks Filipinos, you know, they're poor, they're province girls and everything. How do you get to the status where you have a company and you're helping so many people?
I think for me, it was because I grew up with a father that his dad was a farmer. And my dad basically told himself one day, this is not the life I want to live. And so he crawled his way to get an engineering degree, and seeing that and him telling that story made me think that, because I grew up with more privilege than him, we're not rich, we're comfortable, but I decided that I have no excuse. I have no excuse but to succeed, because if my dad did that with nothing, I have no excuse but to succeed. That's why from a very young age, at 18, I already started working. When I went to college, basically they paid for it. But when I went to law school, I decided, you know what? I'm old enough to find a job. I will pay for law school. And, you know, I could have relied on them, but I didn't, because I wanted to make it on my own. So on my first 2 jobs, I was working from 8 to 5. And from 5 to 9, I would be going to law school, and then go home and then do the same thing all over again. So I think, you know, that grit is actually inspired by my dad.
The
so
hard
that's
work,
why.
the ethics to work hard
Yeah.
and accomplish. And you're one of these people who want to get it done. You know, there's this thing, get her done. You know, it's a saying back in the U.S. Just get her done. And when a client comes to you, you do everything possible to get it done.
Yeah, I will do everything that I can, especially if it's within our purview.
That you can do.
That I can do, but I'm very honest with our clients when it's like, hey, these are your options, and I let them decide which option do you want to take. Because I don't want to be deciding for them. I tell them what are the risks, what are the possibilities of option A and B. But the thing about us is we'll never leave them alone. So that's the type of thing. And I know there are other agencies who are like, they just see it as a business transaction. For me, it's a lot more personal. Because again, growing up, I've seen how a lot of foreigners get scammed, and I'm very close to a lot of foreigners myself, and I don't want to see that happen. So it's like a personal passion of mine. I think it's a purpose, I want to say. Cliche as that might sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, when you're dealing with your company, and maybe you're dealing with one of her employees, if you ever feel neglected, you ever feel like you're not getting the right answer, can they contact you directly?
Oh yeah, a lot of my clients have my personal number. But I would prefer that they contact my staff first and then
go through the procedure.
Go through the procedure.
But if something roadblock hits,
Yeah.
they're not comfortable with who they're talking to,
Yeah.
send you an email, and you'll try to respond.
Yes.
Or you will respond.
I will respond, yes. It might take sometimes a little bit more time, but I'm trying to be better at that. I always try to respond in the next 24 to 48 hours. But if it's an emergency, like my client, so one of the things about that client is it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
So in between a day, it was closed because of Christmas. So they called me and I assessed the situation. I'm like, okay, there is no other way to do this but for me to fly over to Manila, which I did. And that to me felt extremely fulfilling. To be
Very
able
satisfying.
to, yeah, it was very satisfying for me to be able to solve that solution and help him.
Well, guys, glad you got a chance to meet Heidi. I hope you get to use her company a little bit.
CNG Consulting. Yeah.
And I'll leave a link down below with her email, her website, and her Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
What is the best way for these people to contact you?
Our website,
Yeah,
basically. Website, and then Facebook, WhatsApp. So we also have a landline now. Where we have a landline now because I had this problem where clients would call me at 12 a.m. because they get confused with the time zone. So what we've done now is we have a landline that they can call. You can leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, give her a call, give her an email, check out her website. Until next time.
Hi, thank you. How was that?
I don't know, how was it?